Good morning. We are back at my uphill running drills, but this time we're doing 12 down and backs and 12 down and backs of the 200 up, 200 downs, and 4 down and backs of the 100 up, 100 down. So it's a little longer. It's kilometer is 3 kilometers longer, three kms longer. No, 1.6 kilometers longer. um, but before I get started, one of the things that has always helped me, just with getting started with things and making decisions that are difficult ones, is like there's this situation in, I think it's Matthew 26:52, I think, where um, Jesus is about to be arrested by the mob, and Peter pulls out a sword and cuts off the dude's ear, who's arresting Jesus. And Jesus says, basically, no, don't do that. He's aware of the fact that this is fulfilled prophecy, and he heals the guy's ear. But then he turns to Peter and says, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And that could be a literal, you know, living and dying by the sword as far as violence is concerned. But one thing that's helped me psychologically when it comes to even like starting new things is how we navigate um, ourselves starting new things correlated with other people starting new things or doing things. And I feel like there's a correlation between how we assess other people's decisions and how we assess our own. Um, so if we are seeing someone try new things and we're like hypercritical and, oh, what's wrong with them? And dude, look at how they're doing it. And, like someone's trying to start a new platform and you're up here cracking jokes about their hair, or that their stuff is lame, or maybe they didn't say something right, and it's just funny to you. Like, you're just finding ways to just, you don't even have to tell them that you're doing it, that you have these things to say about them. You can just say it to yourself or among your own people, but you're just critiquing them. Oh, they're doing this wrong, they're doing that wrong, they are not handling this right. And um, you just have nothing good to say about what it is that they're after, and you're just tearing them. um, then you have to turn around and start something for yourself. So now you've spent this time talking about other people's issues and how they're not doing stuff right, and then you turn around and you now have to start your own journey. You're in a position where you're vulnerable and having to start something new, or go in a space and be in the spotlight and start something new. And I just want you to think about how you're feeling in that moment. What's your anxiety level like? Because there's a strong chance that your anxiety level is super high, because you are thinking about how you're going to be looked at and criticized and hyper analyzed and things of that nature. The same treatment that you give other people when they're sitting here trying to do stuff, and you're laughing at them and making passive jabs about their journey and whatever. Like, everything that they do is just not enough, or just not cool enough for you. Now those same thoughts are now turned towards yourself in your own head, and you are having a hard time starting. You're having a hard time performing in the spotlight. You're having a hard time doing trying new things that you haven't done before. Or if you know that you're not great at it, you're having a hard time leaning into that space because you already feel like you know how people are going to perceive it and you're not able to handle it. That is living by the sword and dying by the sword, because the sword you're using to, talk about other people and their stuff, that sword is now your mental compass that you're operating with, unfortunately, against yourself. And so it's hard for you to give yourself grace. It's hard for you to give other people grace, or just yourself grace. Forget about other people. It's really hard to give yourself grace when you're not giving other people grace as well. There's a definite correlation to that. And so I say this to say, like, ask yourself how much grace or lack thereof you're willing to handle. Because if you find yourself, having a hard time starting things, if you find yourself having a hard time putting your progress out there to celebrate because you're afraid of what people are going to say, ask yourself how you've been processing other people's small wins. Are you happy for them? Are you laughing at them? Are you, criticizing them and saying, "Oh, they ain't nothing. That's not good enough." If you're doing that, and you also find yourself having a hard time giving yourself grace or being happy with where you've landed in life about certain things, you might want to recalibrate the grace that you give to people, because that might actually make your personal life easier for you when you're starting things. So think about the sword you're using and how that sword um, is received towards yourself. Um, it's just information. Have a great day.